welcome to day 5. We have arrived at our final day of the 5 days of feeling fantastic. I hope that this week you have all been slowly feeling more fantastic as we have learned every day how to navigate different menopause symptoms. So while I'm waiting for everyone to join us, while I'm waiting for you all to get yourselves ready, I'm just going to check and make sure that you can all hear me. So bear with me 1 minute and let me just check this out. Yes, I'm hoping that you can all hear me. So today we have finally arrived at the last day, and hopefully if you've been following me over the last 5 days, you will have learned tons about how to manage and treat different menopause symptoms, understanding why they happen, and the different things that you can do to feel more empowered, more in control to help you navigate this stage of life. So, as we know, menopause, perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, all the different stages along this journey that happens in midlife can be a disruptive time. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to experience symptoms, but the range of symptoms that you have may vary. The extent to which they impact you may vary. The extent that you feel overwhelmed or out of balance or unable to function may varies, and some women absolutely can experience really quite debilitating symptoms, but not everyone. And if you are not experiencing debilitating symptoms, that's fine, that's great. And I want you then to step into, as much as you can, what this stage of life is really all about, and that is the transition, the metamorphosis from the person you were before to the new strong, confident, vibrant person you're going to be after this journey. So today we are looking at a menopause symptom that many people, many women experience, but often don't realize it, don't understand it, don't notice it until too late, or until they really get very worried that they are going through some type of early onset dementia or something like that. And that is brain fog, loss of focus or concentration, short-term memory loss, forgetfulness, that feeling that you just don't have your finger on the pulse, your eye on the ball, you're just not able to really focus and concentrate and fulfill your tasks the way that you used to be able to. Maybe you have also low motivation, low energy, but just everything takes longer, everything feels longer in terms of the amount of energy you need to be able to focus, concentrate, complete tasks. You could be reading a book and you come to the end of the page, or reading a report at work and you come to the end of the page and you just don't remember anything that you read. For many, many women who are high-powered professional women in very important roles, leadership roles, roles of responsibility, this really becomes very, very challenging, because you have spent a long time working on your career, possibly making sacrifices, but investing a lot of time and energy to get to where you are at this stage of life, to reach that level of respect, leadership, responsibility. And then all of a sudden, perimenopause happens, and cognitive function, brain function, can totally decline. And for many women, this creates a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. Do they have early onset dementia? What is going on? They can't complete or fulfill the roles specifically at work, but often in very many other areas of your life. You just can't show up the way that you used to. You often feel like you're living in a bit of a daze. And it's very frustrating. People are relying on you, whether it be colleagues, family, or other responsibilities are relying on you. You want to be able to show up in the way that you used to be able to show up, but it's just not working. And many women who go through this find that they sometimes are forced to leave their jobs, sometimes they have to leave their jobs, sometimes what they expected from themselves has totally changed. Their expectations of themselves, their expectations from others about how they expect you to show up. It can be this specific menopause symptom can be a very scary and debilitating time. Now, obviously, it doesn't have to be that extreme. There are women who are at that extreme, especially those high-powered, high-professional women who are in, who have responsibilities in their jobs. But it can happen to any woman, and sometimes it doesn't be that extreme. The brain fog, the not being able to focus and concentrate, that feeling like you've got cotton wool between your ears can be very unnerving. The forgetfulness, the most common type of forgetfulness is forgetting names or words. You could be talking to someone and forget mid-sentence, not be able to find the word you need in the sentence. Forget the name of someone that you're talking to who, may be a good friend of yours. Forget names of colleagues. It is not early onset dementia. It is not any type of cognitive impairment or long-term cognitive impairment. It is the effects of perimenopause and hormonal fluctuation on your brain, on your brain function, on the way that our brain is able to cope during these hormonally fluctuating times. So what do we do about it? Because it's not fun when it happens. So again, it depends to which extent and to what extreme you are experiencing this menopause symptom. But for many, even just that brain fog and that forgetfulness can be quite debilitating. So let's start off with some basic things that we could do, some treatments, supplementation or other things. The first thing is really what we're eating. If you remember, we talked yesterday about the relationship between gut health and brain function. So what we eat, how we eat, definitely has a big impact on how our brain is functioning during this time. And much of that is to really cut out as much as possible the carbs and the sugars. The carbs and the sugars just create more inflammation and just create more, less ability or decreased ability for brain function. The other things are magnesium, vitamin B, C, and D. And for focus, people talk about lion's mane mushroom capsule. So that's from the mushroom group supplementation. Lion's mane mushroom capsules have also been known to be helpful for brain fog. You can also, support yourself with other adaptogens, which really help with brain function and with decreasing the inflammation in our body, which also is not helpful for brain function. And when we're talking about adaptogens, we are talking about things like ashwagandha or phytoestrogens or other types of mushrooms or other things that are really health supportive. I would always recommend you go see a specialist and not buy over-the-counter adaptogens such as ashwagandha, black cohosh, things like that. I would always recommend you go to someone who knows what they're talking about. Ashwagandha needs to be given in the right amount. You can buy over-the-counter stuff, but you may be on medication that the ashwagandha may not be compatible with. If you are going to look at other adaptogens, you always want to make sure that you are getting a dosage and a recommendation from a naturopath or a herbalist to make sure that you're getting good quality stuff that is not going to interact or mix with any other medication you may be on. Phytoestrogens, to help support the estrogen levels in our body, which is what we need for good brain function. It is the estrogen, the fluctuating estrogens that are impacting our brain. Soya beans, flax seeds, sesame seeds, garlic, all the good green vegetables, the cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, all the cruciferous vegetables, berries. Berries are very, very good to help support our bodies. So these are things that we should be including in our diet to help support us during perimenopause and to help support brain function. Magnesium, I recommend that every single woman should be taking, just because it has a lot of positive impacts on our overall body function and helping to support us during this time. So those are things that you can be doing and adding. The other thing to keep brain strong is to stimulate the brain, to do interesting, fun things, to do different things, challenge yourself with different hobbies, different activities, just to keep the brain fresh and alive and keep those neurons powering. There has been some very, very interesting research done about brain function during perimenopause and menopause in midlife, and you can definitely go and check that all out. I actually wrote a post about that in the Menopause Sisterhood with one of the most famous brain function researchers, whose name is Dr. Lisa, and let me just find her surname. If you have not seen or heard her TED Talk, you absolutely should go check her out. She is the person who has been talking about brain function. Dr. Lisa Mosconi, she talks a lot about natural changes in the brain during midlife. We don't want the brain to deteriorate. Changes are okay, and to be able to support those changes and to understand that as we enter postmenopause, things will balance out. That is fine. We obviously don't want brain function to deteriorate. We need to make sure we support brain function during this time. And really, estrogen is the direction that we should be going in to make sure we are having good estrogen support in our bodies, whether it be from an external hormonal source or a natural source. But if you haven't ever heard of Dr. Lisa Mosconi, if you haven't heard her research, you can go check out in the Menopause Sisterhood at the post I wrote on the 10th of July, where I share a recent podcast, but you can go check her out. She has a fantastic TED Talk, really talking about the changes, the natural changes that happen in women's brain and cognitive function during perimenopause and menopause. So you can go check her out. But in the meantime, as I've said, plenty of ways to support your brain function naturally with the extra supplementation, with changing our diet a little bit, with cutting out those carbs, cutting out those sugars, making sure that we are eating anti-inflammatory foods also to help reduce any of the inflammatory impacts, which can also impact our brain. Doing brain stimulation activities. And there is some yoga practice that we can include into that. And the yoga practice that we're going to do today really is about crossing the median line of our body. We want left, right, opposite leg, arm movements, crossing that median line to get both sides of the brain, right and left brain functions happening. So that is the yoga practice that we're going to be doing today. But if you want any more information, and if you want some specific personalized support and help with really understanding how we can get ourselves over this brain fog, this low concentration, this not being able to focus, which really can be debilitating, as I've just talked about, then contact me. You can DM me, you can message me, you can email me at theyogaroom120@gmail.com, and we can have a conversation about your personal situation. But for today, we're going to start on the floor doing some arm leg cross across the median line poses. So join me on the mat, if you will, please. I'm just going to take some water while we're all getting into position. So first we're going to lie down and take a couple of deep breaths. So we want to really breathe in through the lungs, that deep inhale and exhale through the lungs, letting your whole body totally relax out, allowing your body to really feel the ground beneath you, feel that strong support from the ground, and just let yourself relax into it. Breathing, inhale and exhale through the lungs. I'll turn off the fan so that it doesn't disturb us. There we go. And just breathe really nice and deeply in through the lungs and out through the lungs. Couple of nice deep breaths and just let your body relax. We're going to start off just by releasing that lower body, just allowing ourselves to feel movement in the body. And we're going to now take our left leg and push our left leg. It doesn't need to be flat, it can be slightly bent. Push our left leg into the mat as we gently lift up the right. So right leg is coming up straight, nice and high. And you can just release those toes and ankles, get blood flow flowing in the opposite direction. We're going to straighten out the left leg completely as we gently bring the right leg over our body. Now you can either do straight leg, or if that's too intense, you can bend your leg and just bring the bent leg over your body. So either straight leg or bent leg, we're going to bring it over our body. And you bring it as far as you can. Our arms are outstretched. And you just see how far you can bring over the leg. We want to make sure that both shoulders stay on the mat. Once you have brought it over, you can now either stretch it out or keep it bent if you want. But we're going to try and have left arm and right leg parallel to each other. Shoulders stay on the mat. The minute you feel that shoulder lifting up, bring the leg back. So if you're bringing the leg too far over and the right shoulder is lifting up, bring the leg back. If this is too intense, you can put a block. One second, let me show you. You can put a cushion or a block or something else underneath your leg to help support you if it's too intense to do it. But we really want to have this right leg and left arm over the body. Gently lift it up again, either straight or bent, and come all the way back to center. We're going to lift up the left leg a little bit to help support us. Left foot nicely into the mat. We're going to lift up again the right leg, and we're going to hold it with our left hand. Either hold it at the knee, hold it at the ankle, hold it at the calf, wherever you feel you can hold it, or hold it with a strap. If your arm can't reach the leg, if your leg is slightly lower down, you can use a strap or a belt and hold it. But really I want, again, focus on the left leg and the right arm. And we're now going to hold it again and bring it over again, holding the leg, but just a little bit. We're not bringing it all the way over. We're just bringing it a little bit over as we're holding it. And breathe. Feel that nice stretch. And come back up to center. And lower the right leg. And we're now going to place the right leg on the mat, lifting up the left. And again, you can either do this with the leg bent or with the leg straight. Right leg should be nicely supporting you on the mat. And we're again going to bring the left leg all the way over. You can straighten the right leg now a bit. Bring the left leg all the way up. The right arm is all the way open so that we have parallel right arm and left leg. And again, the minute your shoulders lift up, bring the leg back. As long as your shoulders stay on the mat, you can twist over. You can again put the cushion, a pillow, a block or something underneath your leg. But making sure that we're really focused on that right arm and left leg. Feeling that very deep, deep twist through the spine, through the back, and very gently. Bend the knee, or keep it straight, whatever you want. Bring the leg back. And straighten up the left leg. Bend again the right to give you that extra support. And again, take the right hand either on the knee, on the calf, on the ankle, wherever is good, and bring it over the body. Again, it won't come over very far, and that's fine. Breathing and back to center and down. And just breathe and just rock the knees if you would like. We're going to roll over and we are going to be in our cat-cow pose. So here again, we want to do opposite movements, opposite arm with opposite leg, and so we're going to do that. The other thing that we can do is to really quiet our brain. So we're going to start with that and quieting our brain, allowing our brain just to disconnect. We want to come into child's pose and make sure that the forehead rests either on the mat or on your fists. So either you can do like this, or if you can get all the way down, you want to really bring your forehead. We want contact with the forehead and the surface. So either the mat or your fists, and just breathe. And that contact between the mat and the forehead will help to calm the brain. And just let it disconnect. So just sit here and breathe. If you can't get down all the way into child's pose, you can come up, bring your butt up a little bit, and do child's pose like this. If you can get your butt down all the way, you can do that. And if that's uncomfortable, you can do the fists. And breathe. And you can stay like that for as long as you want, for as long as you need. If you're in a moment of brain fog, or not being able to focus or concentrate, or feeling overwhelmed, or feeling stressed out, you can come into that pose and that just helps calm everything down. Okay, the other movement that we're going to do is coming into our cat pose, making sure that our back is nicely flat. We don't want any arch in the back. We want the back to be flat. We're going to inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to bring out our right leg. Bring out the right leg. Don't lift it too much because we don't want the lower back to collapse. So you bring it out, always making sure you're keeping the lower back straight. Breathe, inhale, and when you are ready, shift the weight to the right hand, so the right hand is supporting you, and bring out the left arm. So we have right leg and left arm raised. Inhale, bring them all the way into the center. Exhale, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale, and back to center. And the other leg. Inhale, and we're going to take out the left leg. Shift the weight of the body onto the left arm. Again, assessing where your body is, making sure that the pelvis hasn't collapsed, that the lower back hasn't collapsed, that the leg is raised, and as we exhale, we're going to lift up the right arm. So right arm, left leg, Inhale, bring them to the center, and exhale, take them out. Inhale to the center, and exhale. And back. And you can rest it out. So that is the next type of exercise you can do. Again, opposite arms with opposite legs. Now the final exercise I'm going to show you, the final movement is, it can be done in different ways. It can be done sitting down, it can be done standing up, and I will show you both, but up to you how you want to do it. You can do both, you can do just one, and again, the concept is the same, but how we do it, how we support our bodies, how we work our bodies will change depending on whether we're doing it sitting down or standing up. So we want to make sure that we're sitting on our butt bones. We don't want to be leaned back. We want to be sitting up nice and straight. We're going to start with our right leg. We're opening up our left arm. Deep breath. When we exhale, we want to make sure we're really engaged. Those pelvic floor muscles, those core muscles, the transverse muscles, we're going to lift up our right leg. Now again, you can hold the leg wherever is good for you, either on the calf, on the ankle, on the foot, or you can use it with a belt, with a strap, and I'll show you what that looks like. Take a yoga strap or a belt or a scarf, put it around your foot. As you exhale, making sure you're sitting up nicely, you lift up the left leg, the right leg with your left hand. So you can use a strap, and then we just want to bring it all the way over the body. Open up the right arm and bring it up, making sure we're not leaning back. We want to stay up nice and straight and bring it over the body. Come back to center, and now we're just going to open it all the way up. You can bend the left leg if that helps to support you. Back to center and over the body. And back to center. You can do that without the strap, coming across the body like this. And back to center. And then with the other side. So we straighten the right leg. We get hold of the left leg with the right arm, opposite arm to opposite leg. Making sure we're sitting up nice, breathing, supporting our body, and come across. Bring out the arm. If you need the arm to help support you, that's fine, but we want to have this asymmetrical movement. Take the leg, bring it out and across the body, just to stretch it out. You can have extra support, bend your leg if you'd like. Back across the body. Don't bring the arm out too far. The arm just is in line with the shoulder and back to center. And you can just release the legs. We can do the same idea of pose standing up, and I will direct you now what that looks like. Let me just move this a bit away so you can see me. My head is slightly chopped off. One moment. Okay. So we stand on our mat. Feet are hip widths apart. You can bend the knees gently. We want to bring the weight to our left leg. Again, we'll do it on both sides, and bring up the right and bend the right. Make sure shoulders are down, that you feel nice and supported. No leaning backwards, no leaning forwards. Body should be nicely aligned over the hips. We're going to take left hand on right knee, open up the right arm, and bring the leg all the way across the body. And breathe. Back to center. We can practice our balance at the same time, opening up the hip. Back to center. And across the body. And back to center. And the same on the other foot. Breathe. Feet are hip widths apart. Shift the weight over to the right foot. Lift up the left. And my right foot is slightly injured, so it's a little bit harder for me to balance. So let me just do this with a tiny bit of support. Bring right arm on the left knee and bring it all the way over the body. Which for me is slightly challenging with my ankle, but fine, we'll come all the way over. Open it up. Assess our balance work. Back to center. And breathe all the way over. I have issues with my ankle, so I'm not going to do it on this side, but you just copy it as it was on the other side. You bring it all the way over, holding it with the opposite arm. And back. And breathe. So, we have done a number of different poses, all with the same principles behind it. And that is crossing the median line of the body using opposite arm with opposite leg. And if we do that, you know, on a regular basis, that helps to stimulate both sides of the brain, which really should help with the cognitive function that we are, impaired cognitive function that we're experiencing during these years. So, I hope that it has been super helpful for you. I hope that the recommendations that have been made all this week, not just today, but the whole week, plus the yoga practice, that these things together, plus the understanding of what is going on in our body, why it is happening, the impacts of hormonal change on our health and well-being, especially the impacts of hormonal change on our menopause symptoms, has really helped to give you much more understanding about what is going on in our bodies during these years, and that you can start to implement small, easy changes that can really make you feel fantastic. So I want to wish you a fantastic day. Please be in touch if you have questions. If you want more personalized, guided support, your own personalized action plan to really understand how you can manage your own menopause symptoms, that is what I do, and I would love to hear from you. So have a great, great day, and I look forward to hearing from you very soon.